My name is Jim Lewis, and I own a couple of companies. One is Village Foods, which is a grocery store, and another is J. Lewis Management, Inc., which owns multiple office buildings and commercial retail properties. I first got together with AgniTEK when I was actually looking for a phone system, and they helped me come up with a phone system that would work for an executive suites concept that I was putting together, which is unique in our town. It's pretty popular in some of the larger cities, but in our particular community, this was the first time that anybody was doing that, and so there was some complexity needed that didn't otherwise seem to be available, and AgniTEK helped me find the solution for that. From there, I had AgniTEK start working on all of my computer needs. They set up my website, they set up our infrastructure so that we could do our email internally and externally and so on. And then as I added another company, when I went from just real estate to adding the grocery store, AgniTEK then went through the grocery store and figured out what we needed to do to be able to get both of those systems set up so that I could seamlessly work on each company's business as the day goes on. Instead of having to go to multiple computers or even multiple sites, I can do it all from my laptop now thanks to AgniTEK. The Manage It program is terrific. What it means to me is that I don't have to have an IT department. Although I have some scale in that I have an office complex and other retail real estate, and I have the grocery store, it still doesn't add up to enough that I need to have an IT department. And even if I did, I would have to have then an IT person or two, and if they're off and something goes wrong, then I've got a real problem. With Manage It, if there's any problem at all, I can call AgniTEK and they just solve it. Whoever they need to send is who they send, but I suspect there's probably all kinds of things that come up that I never even know about, and frankly I don't even want to know about. I just like that everything keeps on running. That's the way I want it to go. Well, my former IT situation was an abacus. Now, I really didn't have a former IT situation. I added computers as I went, and it started off with just one computer that I would use to create real estate forms, and it was just kind of a desktop situation. But where I needed AgniTEK was when I started adding employees and then multiple employees and needed to have multiple computers and be able to store financial data on a server somewhere so that we could all interact with it and so on. So really AgniTEK's been there with me from the beginning of my growth in that regard and has kept me going. From a business point of view, it's important to have a relationship like the one we have with AgniTEK, where there's multiple people at AgniTEK who understand everything there is to know about our system. And what that means to me is that if one person is off, there's somebody else there who's making sure we're up and running all the time. And if I have a question about something, I want to add another computer, or I want to figure out how to get a new smartphone synced up with all of these things that we have, there's somebody at AgniTEK all the time who can answer those questions whenever I think about them, and they're just a phone call away. One thing that really stands out for me as it relates to AgniTEK compared to other vendors we could have used is AgniTEK handles everything. Our internet connection, our website, our email, all of it. They make sure all of our systems work together, and so I'm never in a situation where if there is a problem, I have to worry about calling one vendor and having that vendor say, oh, it's the other vendor's problem, and having people basically try and push it off. With AgniTEK, they kind of put it this way. They said that when you're doing business with AgniTEK, there's just one neck to wring if you ever need to. And fortunately, I haven't needed to. I just call down to AgniTEK and they take ownership of the situation and solve it.